Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cinequest video. Today, we're going to be talking Titans, Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire.
Obviously, Ray needs no introductions over
And
here.
of course, we need to have the Kong of Dong uh,
I
recording
mean, it's
today.
it's either this or all of our. It's not like we can include all of our many titles. It's just easier for me to make up a little.
Right,
So I
of
mean, you've
course.
got
Yeah.
like 4 or 5. The King Louis Cosmic Beef, uh, the Humble Purist.
Humble purist.
Let's
Yeah.
see, the Traveler, and I'm probably forgetting one more in there somewhere.
Um, Usually has to do with the. Nah, I'll leave that one out. I'll leave that one out. Don't want anyone who's listening to get the wrong idea about how we communicate with each other. But yes, the Kong of Dong rolling here. Uh, Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire rolling. When did you see it?
Yeah, I went to check it out on a launch day for maximum Kongness,
Maximum
and
Kongness.
I mean it was pretty awesome. Like I was saying earlier, that they had a really cool metal fucking popcorn bucket that I wanted, but I was not gonna fucking drop $30 for that goddamn thing, no matter
Right.
how cool it looks. Nope,
I considered it just because it looked cool,
it
but
did.
again, that's the price of the $30 thing, and I mean that's not including. Was that including the drink?
No, it was just like
Uh,
a bucket of like popcorn. Wait, no, I think it did have a drink and it had like a little like Godzilla Kong like topper or some shit on there, but I was like,
okay,
no,
yeah.
get fucked. Like $30, like no.
You know,
That's
I
just
know they did some stuff for like, of course, they did it for Dune, the special
yeah.
veg popcorn. Then I saw a few that they did for Ghostbusters, but the Ghostbusters one didn't look too great. Like,
No,
it looked like you were, like, you're gonna pay more for the actual, little container, and you won't be getting any popcorn, like, it didn't look like it was, like, even sufficient enough
yeah, it,
popcorn
it
for
did
one
look pretty
sitting.
crummy looking. But of course they were fucking sold out because I asked when I went to go. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, of course. I think they sell one that like, on Amazon or something, like,
Oh,
just a
I'm not gonna
thing.
bother with
But
that.
it's the Ecto one, I think, popcorn
Oh, okay,
box, which
alright.
is, like, kinda cool, but it still looks like standard movie fare fucking, like, memorabilia, so it's, like, fucking
Yeah.
trash ass, like, plastic that's
Well, I saw Godzilla this morning, first showing
oh,
on
nice.
with, the D-box seat, and not necessarily that I'm a fan. Actually, I'm not a fan of the D-box seating at all,
Mm,
but, I wasn't exactly sure how many people were gonna be in the theater. Granted, it is a Tuesday morning, and it is, discount days. I don't know who has the days off, and I know there were some kids there watching the movie, and I know Easter's over, so,
mhm.
I
What are
don't know
you
about
shits
that.
doing? Shouldn't you be in, like, school?
Yeah, one of those things.
Who
But,
cares?
I did it primarily because, like, in the D box, you have, like, the separation of the seats,
Mhm.
and I didn't wanna sit next to anyone too close, you know, because
No, yeah.
it was standard the standard seats, so they're, like, they seem like they're extra close than normal, you know?
Yeah.
No luxury loungers in my theater, unfortunately. But,
Oh, that's unfortunate, yeah.
it is unfortunate. So, yeah, I saw it this morning, and,
What'd
it
you
was like
think?
I had fun with it. I know what I'm going into watching this movie. I mean, I enjoyed the one prior to this, or the one previous to this one,
Yeah.
which was Godzilla versus Kong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Godzilla Kong,
something.
the
It's one
the
of those.
first uh the first Konging.
The first Kong, and yeah, I still same issue I had with the first and any of the other Godzilla Kong movies is that the story of the humans is unnecessary to me.
I'm just mostly glad that they only included, I think, what, 2 characters from the last movie. That's to say the researcher and her daughter, which I was cool with because they were.
Well, the guy who does the podcast also was in there as well.
Oh yeah, excuse
Yeah,
me, him too. And he's great. He's
yeah.
great. I was blanking there
A
for a
little
second.
lackluster on the jokes, and obviously he is the comic relief, but it was okay. I mean, it wasn't. it didn't annoy me too much enough to take me out of the movie. So, I mean, I was okay with that.
I
I do
really,
get cringy every time I see a podcaster on screen because then I'm just looking at them just like
and it's
fucking
great
hand
because
in the head,
in
you know?
in these two movies, both of them have podcasters in it.
Yeah, yeah.
This one and Ghostbusters. Um, but I did laugh when they first reintroduced that dude when wow, I'm blanking on names and shit. Let me just boop boop boop. Eileen and Bernie. When Eileen goes to Bernie's like apartment and he's like, whatever, what, I'm busy, I'm recording, can't you, go away? And she's like, oh, it's me. And he's like, oh shit, come on in. Hey.
Uh,
And then he like when he starts talking about his podcast, he's like, yeah, like this is really important for my thousands, my hundreds of listeners. And like there's a
yeah.
lot like he when he
Yeah.
was when he's talking about it, I thought that was pretty funny. He had a nice setup too, though. Fuck, I'm not
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
lie.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
mhm.
I didn't care for his again, I I'm kind of a person who is a bit of a little audio geek, and every time I see things on screen, I'm always kinda curious as to what gear they're using, even though that's not necessarily important, but as just a fan of these types of, like, like microphones, audio interfaces and stuff like that. I didn't like the mic he was using because I thought it was stupid,
Yeah.
right? Considering, it just looked like a fancy, colorful thing on his desk, and there's a lot of noise going out on the outside, so I was just like, "Why is he using that mic?" Like, that's the thought that crosses my mind.
Wrong,
Yeah.
wrong,
"He shouldn't be
wrong.
using that particular mic, god damn it," like
This bitch, does he have a pop filter on there? No, god damn it. What the
yeah,
fuck is wrong with
so
this?
stupid things like that.
Uh,
But anyways, other
Um,
than that, I did enjoy the overall, movie. I mean, it's basically, uh, we're kind of continue on with the first story with the little girl
yeah,
who's
it almost picks up immediately
yeah,
where it
little
left
girl
off.
who is kind of like have some kind of connection with Kong,
Right.
and,
Gia.
Kong is in the Hollow Earth, which is a nice conspiracy that I like that they keep on bringing back because it probably is
Yeah.
there for real, right? They're just preparing us for when actually they do expose Hollow Earth with the
Yeah.
entrance somewhere in Antarctica.
Funnily enough, they go like fucking like Hollow Earth of Hollow Earth or whatever, Hollowception or whatever, because that's how they there's another fucking like area that apparently was under this, where Kong was, and that's where is the sort of the story starts with him meeting, you know, uh the other
Uh,
fucking giant
Sub-Kongs,
ape titans, yeah, and
yeah.
the orangutan. I I think it's probably what it is.
You know what's crazy is that, like,
King
well, I mean,
Louisilla.
I wouldn't say crazy, but I mean, I just thought it was funny that Godzilla gets top billing in this, and he's kinda like the secondary character
Yeah, he really
in this
is.
movie.
Like he doesn't really have as much presence,
Yeah.
uh or a I mean he's all agency or whatever in this. And just like the second the fucking movie starts, Godzilla's like, what the fuck, something's wrong. Like, rah, time to
Yeah,
go fuck some shit up. And that's all he's doing. Like he's to me, he in this one he acts more of like the straight up force of nature, just like blowing through. And Kong is the one with like the sort of direction, which
well, he's, we find out like, I guess through the lore of those folks
mhm.
in Hollow Earth is that, like, he's, like, the protector of humans,
Right, yeah,
and
yeah.
so, I mean, he
Well,
has more of, like, a, I guess, empathetic nature to him,
yeah, I mean,
even with the other, ape titans,
yeah, he's got a lot more humanity, I want to say, to him.
Yeah.
Uh, I think it's really cool how they lean in on the fact that he uses tools. Like he
Mhm.
uses more stone tools. Like, well, in this one, like he straight up like lays traps and shit out
Yeah.
for predators that are being, pursuing him, that kind of thing. And I really like seeing that because it's just a cool thing. Like monkeys and apes. I mean, I don't know that apes, greater apes, to the same degree as monkeys, uh, have been shown and proven to use and develop their own sorts of tools or taught. I was just
Mhm.
watching a fucking a video the other day of a chimp, um, uh, starting a fire. Like
Yeah. Oh,
he
okay, that's cool.
and he will like they granted he was taught to do this by
Mhm.
humans, but like he breaks up sticks, makes a little pile, gets a fucking box of matches, opens the box, lights the match, and tosses it in there, starts the fire. And he has a stick, and he brings out some fucking marshmallows and starts putting them on there, and he fucking just roasts it. And
Well,
I
yeah,
was just watching him like fucking put it back and like fucking blowing on the mushroom, it's like so he doesn't burn himself
well, that
as
just shows how
animals.
close we are to, like, uh,
Yeah,
those,
of course.
animals, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
I just think it's fucking cool as fuck to see. And Kong pretty much does much of the same. I mean, like from the last one, he still has his fucking battle axe that
yeah,
he
yeah.
was using, and he uses it somewhat like a tool. I think when he's like jumping around and like sort of hanging down, sliding down walls, he'll use that to like brace himself or as like a catch, like that kind of
Mhm.
shit. Um, but also uh, the other, the other Kong tribe, Great Titans or what, Titan apes, do somewhat similar things. Like they do have their own stone,
So, like,
like
they use,
knives.
like, spinal cords of, like, animals and shit for, like,
Yeah,
their
so
torch and
that's
stuff?
that was the asshole. I don't know his name. The antagonist
Yeah,
of
the
this one.
asshole the asshole Kong.
Yeah, he's got a whip. Straight up like, well, it is a whip, but it's more like it's more like a flail because it's
Yeah,
got
yeah,
a weighted end on it, and that part can be used to like crush things. It's I mean
yeah,
it's granted he also uses the other end, which is a straight up whip. It just has that
point.
little like knife on there that he's like slashing people with.
Yeah.
But like they do use tools as well, which I not they're not as intelligent as Kong himself. Um, but I thought that was a pretty cool sort of thing to see. Um, because it's just like I guess it was just meant to show that these that the ape titans are on a sort of a different level compared to the standard like just animal,
Yeah.
instinctual fucking titans like I think it's called mother spider, the that crab spider that Godzilla fights and just fucking dominates the shit out of, for example.
Was that in
Or
this one or was it
yeah,
another one?
yeah. When I think Godzilla goes, I think to like Italy or something, and like
Oh, right,
there's
right, right,
that
right,
fucking
okay,
thing. It's
yeah.
just like stabbing the ground everywhere, and he
Yeah,
just
yeah,
goes and
yeah,
he
yeah.
fucks that thing up.
Well, see,
And
that's the thing about, this movie is that, like, there's, like, various battles going on between Kong and other, like, Titan type,
with Kong, it seems more like like a story that's happening. With Godzilla, it's more like a fucking
y
storm that's blowing in. It's like, what would happen if a tornado hit a hurricane? That
yeah,
kind of
well, I
shit.
mean, at this point, Godzilla is kinda there to take care of, like, the big bad that comes into town,
Yeah,
and
Godzilla's just a lot more aggressive with his
well, I mean,
territoriality
are
than
you telling me as someone who's probably seen more Godzilla movies is that, Godzilla pretty like, whenever he starts battling these other Titans, is he, like, just always asleep until it's time to wake up and then he fights and then goes back to sleep? Because
kind
that's what
of,
happens in
yeah.
this movie, you know?
Like, I mean, like, pretty much that's the main thing. In most of the other movies, like, Godzilla would just sort of go back underwater,
Mhm.
and, like, that's sort of where it ends, and it's just sort of assumed that, like, he returns to wherever the fuck he's chilling, or he
Yeah.
just, like, goes dormant somewhere for a time. So yeah, that pretty much follows the way, because again, Godzilla is just like a force of nature.
Mhm.
There's no like real purpose or direction. It's just like it's just there, and nothing. It's not. He's he's kind of I think ambiguous. The word I'm thinking of is ambiguous, where it's not really good or bad. It's just Godzilla doesn't go out of his way to fuck with
These
humanity
people, yeah, he
necessarily. As
just
long as they don't annoy him, he's just there to fuck up, the other Titans.
it is
And
just it's funny that you say that though, is that, like, as I'm seeing these battles go on, and then, of course, the main battle at the very end, like, they all kinda come out, and
Yeah.
It's multiple Titans fighting each
There
other
are
side by side.
exceptions, right?
They are killing lots of people.
Yes, and,
They don't mention that in the movie, but I mean, it's obvious the way they're causing all this
yeah,
destruction.
I mean, at one
I go,
point,
these
like, a
people,
bunch of drones fly at Godzilla, and he just starts fucking swatting them out of the air
right,
and
but,
shit.
like, just in, like, in the very end of the movie, like, you have people, like, kinda doing their recreational thing at the beach and stuff
Right,
like that,
yeah.
and then all these things show up. I go, "No way any of them got it out in
Mm-mm,
time."
mm-mm.
Like, there are
They
probably
destroyed that
hundreds.
whole fucking city, dude,
Yeah,
like,
it's
they got
hundreds of
fucked.
thousands of people
They
dead.
died they all died off screen.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
they're 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 just kinda like, "Okay, we're just assuming that people are dead," right? Because, like,
yeah.
I
There's no
I
fucking way.
personally wonder, or if it's even discussed in, like, production of these movies, is that, like, if they're battling in the main city and they're, like, knocking out buildings and stuff, they don't have, like, little digital people, like, flying everywhere and stuff like that, like, that'd be
No,
too
it's supposed to
would
be
that be too
a st
gruesome? Would that make it
probably.
rated R or something?
Yeah,
Because, like, yeah,
it's
just
PG-13, right?
yeah.
So that means everybody can die just off screen.
Right.
It's implied.
But that's
They
that's
didn't get out in time.
yeah. It's
Um,
implied that, like, all these people are dead, and I was just like, "That's really
I
crazy."
was I was
Because
a little surprised by that. I mean, I liked seeing it because I was like, "Yes, fuck them all up," but I was also like, "Yeah, they're all dead.
all of them are dead,
All of 'em
for
are fucking
sure.
dead. There's no way." Um, yeah, because you see them sort of run, the people run away from the beach, and then, like, the fucking orangutan monkey, when he gets there, back on the surface, he sees him, and he's like, like, he had, I don't know, like, he was so cheesy. I mean, I liked it, and, like, and I was expecting it to be that way, but, like, the way that dude communicates and stuff, like, I was almost thinking this was like fucking Mad Max and shit, where, like, all of the monkey titans are just, like, being whipped, and, like, they're just, like, moving around rocks and shit, and they're all suffering while,
Yeah.
Immortan, King Louis or whatever is just there like, her,
Yeah.
like, when they fucking laugh at Kong because he's got his, like, his metal tooth and shit,
Yeah, yeah.
I like that, because it was very clear that and easy to understand, but, while at the same time just being campy as fuck, so
Yeah.
but it
But
didn't bother me,
but
so
that's what I'm saying, like, with these versions of these, monsters, like, you're getting that level of either, like you said, camp, or it's a bit like, cheesy.
yeah,
It's obviously very cartoonish because, I mean, most of the movie is, like, CGI. So
yeah,
that's pretty much what we're getting, and I mean, it's obvious, and it doesn't really take me out of the movie, but I'm aware of that. But, I mean, it still looked pretty
yeah,
decent whenever it was interacting with, like, the real world and the humans and whatnot. Uh,
yeah, the tone between Godzilla's scenes and Kong scenes are very different,
yes.
with few exceptions. When Kong and Godzilla actually meet, Godzilla's just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, Kong is even trying to talk to him. He's like, "Ruh, ruh, ruh," and he
Yeah.
just fucking knocks him out and shit.
Yeah, I mean,
And
that's the best
then,
part of the whole movie is they're
yeah,
like, you see the
you
battles,
see
but
the
then their
difference.
interactions and stuff, like, where
Yeah,
Kong almost seems like he's trying to reason with him to get him to, like, "Hey, like, listen
yeah,
to me."
and that's
I thought at some point when they were fighting and they were, like, battling in Egypt and stuff, that he was gonna, like, grab him by the shoulder and say, "Arr!" And then he was gonna, like, just,
it was gonna stop and be like,
"Oh."
oh no, no, no. Like, so it took. So the cool thing about, that whole scene is that, as I understand it, and, like, I've it's been a long time since I watched it, but, like,
Mhm.
Mothra's, relationship with Godzilla is, like, the one exception. That's the one thing that can sort of, like, stop Godzilla and be like, okay, I'm being a dick. Hold on, I'm sorry. Let me just.
Okay, see, that's another thing 'cause, again, I'm not too familiar with a lot of
So
the Godzilla, like, I
Mothra,
thought Mothra was, like, an enemy of
I
Godzilla.
believe originally Mothra was sort of, because in the, like, old Godzilla movies, Godzilla does not try to help anyone at all. Like, he
Right.
just fucking comes in and fucks everything up. And if it just happens that it was there to, like, help people, it's like that was kind of like a, like an aside or whatever. And Godzilla didn't give a fuck about that. But I believe Mothra was always meant, like, to be a protector of humanity or some such.
Mhm.
And, I think the way so, like, whenever if I'm not mis I wanna say whenever they fought, Mothra would always win. Mothra
Mhm.
was, like, the one that could actually stop Godzilla for, like, a number of reasons. It has, like, a bunch of different powers, and I think one of them is, like, it puts out these, like, spores or something that'll put things to sleep.
Is that
Uh,
what it did to Godzilla?
no, in
Just put
this
him to
one,
sleep
it
or
just, like
no, 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 I'm just saying, like, in the
oh,
in past interactions with them.
I don't fucking remember because 'cause it's been such a long time since I've seen it. But they did reuse the dynamic between people and Mothra, where like they can like communicate with it because
Mhm.
that's a thing in the old ones. I think it was like a pair of twin girls that could like telepathically communicate with Mothra or something like that and summon her and like call her for help and shit, and Mothra would show up.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, Mothra had like a bunch of other abilities and stuff that it can use, and just to like either stop or like slow down Godzilla or anything like that. And Godzilla can't really do a whole lot, but like eventually, I think they kind of become like pals. We're not really pals, but like they just have like a kind of understanding with each other. And
Right.
this and it seems like this movie kind of just like plays into that because when Godzilla and Kong are fighting, like like Godzilla's right about to blast Kong through the face. Mothra just like shoots out this fucking like wave or energy or something, just
Mhm.
just kind of like stuns him for a second. He looks over and he's like, "Oh shit!" Like it's like
Right,
the
yeah.
it's like the fucking like that relationship where like the kids are fighting and then it's like, "Here comes mom, fuck!" It's
Okay.
you
As
know
well,
like
that's as some again, someone who's a bit new to, like, a lot of these, like, at least this recent, iteration of these movies.
I mean, dude, there's over
I
30 of them, so it's like
well, I mean,
too
were
hard to
you
keep
talking
up.
about, like, the Japanese ones too? I mean, I
Yeah,
thought there were
yeah,
more
yeah.
than that.
Oh, there probably you know what, I'm just guessing, I thought there was, like, around
Well,
30 or
that's what I'm
so,
saying,
but there
like,
probably
I
is.
since I haven't watched so many or any of those,
Yeah.
just the American versions of
Yeah,
these,
yeah, yeah.
creatures, I
Yeah.
wasn't too aware of, like, their dynamic with each other.
Sure, sure, sure.
But, I mean, I enjoyed it, I liked the way they made Mothra look.
Yeah, that was pretty
Um,
cool. The fight the battle the action scenes were really great. I was trying to think of, like, a better or not better, but, like, a different comparison, but, like, the way the monkey titans and, Kong and that little Kong Jr., uh, communicate. Like, I was kinda hoping they weren't gonna go straight up fucking Planet of the Apes with it, where it's like, they start speaking or like Congo, they start speaking fucking sign language and
I'm
shit to each
glad you brought
other.
that up, Roland, because there was a point in time when they're, like, walking through the Hollow Earth and all that stuff, and they're finding all these, like, other places. The first thing that popped in my mind was, like, "This is I feel like I'm watching Congo right now." I go, "All I need is Tim Curry in here fucking like, 'It's absolutely true,'" like, doing his fucking stupid ass accent. I would have loved to see like, I'm loving I mean, like, that's realistically can't happen, but, just kind of like an insert of fucking Tim Curry in there or something, walking with them looking for diamonds or something, and he sees the fucking huge thing, and he's just like, "Oh, God, believe it," whatever the fuck.
Uh,
But, yeah, I thought I was watching a bit of, like, a mixture of, like, Congo and Planet of the Apes, like just like, aesthetically, the way those movies look. That's what
mhm.
I thought when I was watching this movie. Um,
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
have
I can
any,
see
like,
that.
I know we talk I mean, primarily this movie is big monster battle other big monster, and yay, that's what we wanna see.
Did you like the character that played the veterinarian?
Oh, I
What was his
like
name?
the
Trapper?
when they called him fucking, Ace Ventura and shit.
Yeah, because his fucking button up or whatever,
Yeah.
like that goofy Hawaiian shirt and his shorts, and him talking about like I feel something wrong here.
Yeah.
And Michael is like, "Fuck off, I'm in charge," and blah, he's gone.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, that's fucking great."
'Cause I
What did you
know
think of real quick though? Like whenever Trapper was trying to do something, the fucking like Guardians of the Galaxy style, like, music starts playing
yeah.
background shit, and I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
"Oh,
another one. Thank you for
mm,
that, 'cause
mwah." I
I
was
wanted to
hearing,
bring up those comparison. I was like, "Are they really playing Loverboy right now?"
yes,
Like
and I was like, is that Kiss?" I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
"Yes!" Like, I saw that and immediately thought of you. I was like, "Oh, Ray's gonna love this."
Well, no, you're simplifying my experience in the theater, right? When I'm watching this and I hear those songs. I at this point, I mean, if you're talking a few years ago when Guardians of the Galaxy first came out, or you even have Thor Ragnarok, I was like, "Oh, that's kinda I feel like this is helping." Now I feel like they're overdoing it now. They're
Yeah,
bringing out these, like,
yeah,
classic, 80s and 70s songs to kinda appeal to the nostalgia of, like, the whoever, like, the adults watching this fucking movie. Because
yeah,
I'm
and I
pretty
mean,
sure
it
the
works for me anyways.
I mean, I fucking just heard a Loverboy song while he's fucking I think when he was putting on the I don't know, it was when he put it
Yeah,
on the
because he
fucking
was
thing,
yeah, he starts singing.
or when he
Oh,
was,
no.
like he was flying through, like I don't know, I think when he brought those fucking things with
Yeah.
him, and, like, I heard fucking Loverboy, I was like, "You gotta be shitting me, man," like and, here's what I thought. I didn't think anything of the song necessarily. I thought to myself, "Oh, Loverboy. Well, I'm glad they're getting paid." I go, "Because they need it. They those guys fucking need it." So I'm glad, like, their song was thrown in there just to pay them, because for fuck's sake, I was like, "Wow, okay. That's fine, that's fine." I mean, the songs fit okay. They weren't like,
Yeah,
it wasn't too off-putting.
I thought they were great.
Yeah.
It just made me laugh. It was that guy was a pretty fun character. Um,
I could say, like, as far as, like, my nitpicks about this movie, I don't have many, or if, like,
I
any
mean,
at all
it's
because
like,
I
what
wasn't
are you
thinking about it
going
too
in?
much,
Yeah, it's
you
like, what are
know?
you going in with? What kind of expectations are you having with this fucking movie? It's like pure fan service.
Now, I
You
mean,
know?
that's not I know that's not like, that's not I would say that's a cop out answer, and I would say, like, my for myself, because I was gonna say the same thing.
Mm.
For people, like, if they happen to not like this movie, like, "Oh, well, what did you expect going into this
Right.
movie?"
Like, what were you?
I
What
I
were you
know I
hoping
know some
for?
people would
You know?
prefer, like, a better story,
Mm.
I mean but again, I personally, d just from my experience, I don't go into these movies expecting any sort of,
No.
decent story. I mean, the story was okay.
Yeah, it
It wasn't
is.
anything to write
It's
home about, you know?
no, but it was fine. It wasn't boring. The pacing for the most
Yeah,
part was pretty
it was
even.
okay, yeah.
Um, and I mean, yeah, this is like like nostalgia fucking um, you know, food for well, I was gonna say like old farts and nerds, but like
Well,
this
it definitely is one of these
this
popcorn
is
type of
this is
movies,
this is geared for as well for like younger
kids.
kids
Yeah,
too.
it's for kids,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I mean, from the way the indigenous tribe that was there, the Hollow Earth tribe, just coming out of nowhere and like with all of their awesome powers, are like, how are they talking to each other? Oh, they're telekinetic, like, I mean telepathic. Excuse me, whatever. Like they're talking with their minds, and then like
I know, when you made that face, I kinda did the same thing when he said that, like, they're talking, like, telepathically.
they're talking to their mind. I'm like,
I was like,
mm,
"Nice,
mm.
okay. I
All
get
right,
it,
like let's
alright."
just like
Like,
easy
let's move
answer. Let's
on from
just
that,
forget
yeah,
that.
let's
Yeah.
just move on from that.
All right, like,
Let's not discuss it any further.
and that's how she can understand you because she can
Yeah,
read your mind.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right,
He's like, "What the
let's
fuck is
just
this,
move on.
Avatar or some shit?"
Yeah, I mean, when they go into the prophecy and all that,
Yeah,
I was like, oh god, they're really just like trying to wrap up this fucking
yeah.
story because like
There's no
Eileen's
reason to
character was
honestly,
reading
there's no
all of
reason to
it.
explain it. We need to see a battle. Like, we need to get to the
Yeah,
fucking final battle, and that
yes,
was it.
like the dialogue and with between people and stuff. That's just like filler and transition between
Yeah,
when the Titans meet up and shit. Which that's like that was good stuff. I liked seeing all of that. Um, that wasn't disappointing to me at all in any way. Like Godzilla was just like, all right, how do I go Super Saiyan and shit,
yeah.
and like I actually think he looked fucking cool as fuck with those, like the pink eyes and shit. Like every time, like it would power up and it just
Yeah,
ends the same way as Godzilla always being Godzilla, where it's like I'm the king, brr, it's like, yep,
I'm going back to sleep.
yeah, back to sleep, yeah, it's like a fucking cat,
Yeah.
just curled up and shit, and
But
everyone's just like, leave me
I
alone.
mean, you gotta admit, it was kinda cute to see Godzilla kinda just go back into his little thing, he just curls up.
I think that was the point, yeah. He curls up in the Coliseum or
Yeah.
whatever. Jesus
And
Christ.
they see his eyes closed, I was like, "Oh, that's cute."
Yeah, that was really funny. I
I
think the music that was playing at the time as well was kind of like lending to that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah, yep. Godzilla's done murdering, so back to
They
sleep.
go, "Everyone, we defeated the monster.
Right.
Oh, there's a
Well,
lot of dead people around."
nap
Let's
time.
let's not,
Yeah.
let's not address that at all, like, let's leave on a high note
It just
and
yeah,
and
it just
and end
ends
this
on like
movie.
on Godzilla snoring and shit,
Yeah,
whatever. Just like, all right. And Kong is just like, yeah, I've got friends, like,
yeah, I got
and I
friends,
was
yeah.
like, is this how the real Planet of the Apes starts? Without all the garbage and shit that what's the new one called? Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? Like,
Yeah.
how the fuck are they making these fucking titles? What's it gonna be after Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? Is it
Well,
gonna be
obviously, they're
like
gonna have to get to the point where it finally meets up with the very first Planet of the Apes
it's gonna
movie.
be okay, I was gonna
You
say,
know,
so
the
it's
one
gonna
with,
be like the United
Charlton Heston, you
States
know?
of the United States of America of the Planet of the Apes or whatever.
Well, I mean, because I mean, at some point, like we said, like, you know what? I think do you think the series is gonna end with, like, the the spaceship coming back, like, where it's gonna like, the Charlton Heston character, like, whoever plays him, and that's where the series is gonna have to end at some point, with that, because then you can kinda go back and watch the originals, unless they're gonna just revamp the whole thing again
I'm thinking that's what's
entirely.
gonna happen. I would hope it would end your way because that means it would just end and I could be
Yeah.
fucking done with it and I could ignore it because I'm never gonna watch that shit and I hate it.
I'm gonna watch
Um,
it at some point, but
I know you will.
I better catch up because I've only seen, like, the very first one, and I haven't seen any of the others, so, I
By
mean,
first you mean like of the reboots, right? Not the
the
original.
first of the reboots, I know I watched that one initially with, Mark Wahlberg,
Mhm.
but then that's not part of this universe necessarily, so, like, I saw the one with I think it was James Franco was the one
Yeah,
that
fuck
came out of
that.
that one, and then I haven't seen any since, so, I mean but
Yeah.
anyways, back to the movie. Roland, would you recommend anyone going to watch this in theaters or home
Yeah,
theaters?
absolutely. As long as you're not going in there expecting I mean this is not Godzilla minus, right? Like
Yeah, this is
this is
entirely different type of
completely
movie.
different fucking Godzilla. This one's just like like Saturday morning Godzilla sort of thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
Saturday morning Godzilla with just a little murder.
yeah, just, we don't even mention at all, like,
Right, no, actually,
it's just assumed.
yeah, because, then it would be harder for them to make the action figures for this one, which
Right, of course.
there are plenty of them.
Or they're gonna have, like,
Probably
the buildings with all these, like, dead people inside of them, like, they're, like, tiny little things like this big, you know?
I don't
Um,
know, it's a little
but yeah,
decal
so
flat. I
I
would recommend it,
I
it
I I
feels
would say I
uh,
recommend it also watching in the theaters. The one previous to this one, I did see streaming because I think it came out, like, during a bit of the COVID thing.
yeah, we watched
But
it I think we
I
watched
enjoyed
it
it
streaming.
watching it here. Actually, my mom saw it too, and she liked it as well. I was wondering if maybe she might enjoy this one too because, I mean,
Yeah.
it's it's just monster battle,
Probably,
monster, that's it, you
she'd
know?
probably get a kick out of a laugh out of, like, the plot itself with the people and, like, their silly little jokes, and then also when
I don't even think she thinks that far into it, dude, like, to be honest with you, like, it's
no,
just like
and, like, really
Like,
realistically
monster battle monster, that's it.
I can imagine her seeing the part where they're talking about the prophecy and being like, "What's this shit?" Like,
Yeah.
just wrap
Nah,
it up, like,
yeah,
it's dumb, and it is, it's dumb,
well, I
but
mean,
I
I mean,
liked it
she kinda
still.
had the same kind of response with the other one was that, like, "We don't even need the humans in this movie,"
Yeah,
like
no.
and I say the same thing, like, I wish they would take a page from, the Transformers movies would take a page from this type, the way they construct the movie and the story. Let's
Yeah,
not put too much human bullshit into this, and just leave it with the robots and shit, because that's the only reason I saw Transformers to begin with, and that's why they're so, uh, like, saturated with nonsense in between all that's why they're so long too, like, they're like, what, 2 hours, 2.5 hours sometimes? Like,
yeah,
nah, man, like, you don't need to be doing that with these movies. But anyways, I do recommend it.
yeah,
Um, I just think, it's a fun movie. It was especially a fun movie in the morning for me to watch. So,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
definitely check it
I
out.
mean, it's pure action, and so it's
Yeah.
great.
All right. Well, I guess that'll be it for us in this discussion of Godzilla X Kong, the
Yep, short
new
and sweet.
empire. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And I'm really gonna cringe every time I always have to say that. Make sure you hit the like button and hit the notification bell and blah.
Say
I
it. Say it.
I like can you kind of have to say it? You hope people
Yeah.
just do it, and I appreciate it if anyone watches to the end. Thank you. And if you aren't subscribed, please make sure you do so, and tell your friends, tell your I mean,
Dance.
don't subject everyone to this, but I mean, like, I appreciate it. Yes. But anyways, see you next time.
Say you.